Right. Right. I am carrying extra weight.
Anyone who brings candy into this camp is not your friend.
No, man, that's not it. No dinner, no lunch, no breakfast.
Looks like my man's packing.
Who would like to own up to this treasure trove?
My grandma runs faster than you, and she's only got one leg.
Oh, look! A deli meat.
I eat success for breakfast.
With skim milk.
You disgust me.
Well, congratulations. You just joined the 76% of Americans who forget to stretch before physical activity.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Don't make yourself a big target. Christie has been attacking President Trump professionally for the better part of the last 3 years when he decided that he could get paid by corporate media for doing so, and that is precisely what Christie is doing today. But President Trump obviously is going to see that massive target and take aim, as he did this week, with this hysterical meme of Christie and J.B. Pritzker. He's the governor of Illinois, sumo wrestling. Probably the most accurate meme I've ever seen. Donald Trump also shared this meme of Christie announcing his run against President Trump by continuing to say that everyone needs to be bigger and big.
And it was about our country and its future. And I wondered what our choice was going to be. Were we going to be small or were we going to be big?
President Trump shared that meme with the buffet and all included, and always makes me a little hungry. It's the egg rolls right there look pretty good, along with the breakfast sausage. Okay. Anyway, the point is that everybody knows that Christie, who has had a couple of surgeries actually to try and prevent himself from being so hefty, hasn't worked and is not in the peak of health. That's pretty obvious, but Christie is probably somebody who needs to check himself before he attacks RFK Jr. He is attacking the HHS secretary for being too healthy. You got to consider the messenger in moments like this. Here is Christie going berserk on RFK Jr. and warning RFK is a grave danger to America's health. Self-introspection and reflection is the single most vacant quality and virtue in all of politics. Where are the mirrors for these people? Here we go.
You looked at that appearance before Congress, and it just confirms what all of us around this table have known for decades. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a foolish man, full of foolish and vapid ideas. And that was on display again this week in front of Congress. And I really don't want to hear about Bill Cassidy, because he is a co-conspirator with the President of the United States for putting this wholly unqualified man in charge of 25% of all government spending. Without Cassidy's vote, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. would not be it. And maybe he's feeling some guilt from what he did. But I'll tell you this, the president did this. He knows, the president's smart enough to know RFK Jr. doesn't belong in that job. But after he won, he wanted to show everybody, I can do whatever I want to do because this Senate will be compliant no matter what I do. And I'll put the greatest vaccine and public health denier of the last 20 years in charge of public health in America. It's a human middle finger, George, to everybody who opposed him.
Did seem caught up on the one, and he wants to brag.
Okay, the internet responding to this exactly how we thought it would. If Christie is complaining about RFK Jr., then clearly RFK Jr. is doing something right. There you go. There you go. Christie bashes RFK, called him a foolish man, foolish and vapid ideas. What is your response? Clearly, Christie literally is just like a massive mouth that you can just buy and pay for. Clearly, Big Pharma is just paying Christie. It is a perfect poster child, actually, for what they want all Americans to look like. RFK should not be in charge of health. RFK Jr. There you go. It's peak comedy. Christie versus RFK Jr. This is my entire timeline right now. Whoever decided to let Christie do this sketch on, was it Jimmy Fallon? Yeah. Not great. Not great. Who do you trust more with America's health? Christie or RFK Jr.? Okay. So probably a fried Oreo right there, right at the Iowa State Fair. Never a good look. RFK, jacked 70s grandfather. I mean, dude's 70. Dude's 70. This is what you look like. Come on, man. Yeah. RFK Jr. is a joke, says Chris Christie. Oh, no. What is that? Slob Chris Christie says RFK is a joke and shouldn't be leading America's public health. Since when is Chris Christie so passionate about health? Chris Christie, RFK is a foolish man, greatest public health denier of the past 20 years. These are literal photos of Chris Christie. This is not AI. This is a literal photo of RFK. Fitness guru Chris Christie doesn't think RFK Jr. should be making health decisions again. Oh, no. Ugh. Watching Chris Christie attack RFK Jr. on healthcare policy is one of the most ironic things I have ever seen. Chris Christie has decided to weigh in hopes to tip the scales in his favor. Goodness gracious. I think that's been adjusted slightly. Chris Christie calls for RFK to not be leading America's health. This is not a parody. Chris Christie doesn't know his sizable ass from his elbow. He should stick to rigging insider trading cases so his brother doesn't get prosecuted and leave health to the people who know what they're doing. Oh my. Okay. Chris Christie is not the ideal person to be criticizing anybody on health. Just saying. I know. Like, again, this is a real photo of Chris Christie. Goodness gracious. Chris Christie's glasses can't decide if they want to change the Cracker Barrel logo or steal a baseball from a little kid. That's good. I appreciate that. Chris Christie pouring a bag of M&Ms into an even larger bag of M&Ms. Yes. Put him in charge of HHS. This is the state of American health. There you go. Chris Christie is the epitome of health. Oh my goodness. Like, again, if you have the body type of Chris Christie, why are you wearing such tight pants? Like, the tight pants is a choice. The belt line is a choice. Chris Christie is built exactly like the Belgian health minister. You can't really talk about public health if you weigh over 300 pounds. This is an absolute matter of fact. This is the public health minister of Belgium. Okay. Chris Christie says RFK Jr.'s health advice is foolish. And here's Chris Christie arriving at his precious ABC News studio. It's pretty sad. Like, all of these people, like what they do, they've completely sold out. They've sold out just for money. They sell out just to get on TV, and they're selling out their country because actually, like, RFK getting America healthier is the single most important thing that is happening probably right now. We don't have an America first. We don't have an American future unless we have a healthy future. Ladies and gentlemen, to mark that point perfectly, here's RFK Jr. from this week. This is what Chris Christie was so angry about, advocating, obviously, for America's health before the U.S. Senate and doing a great job. Here you go.
Yes, Senator, this morning I got the latest numbers from CDC that 76.4% of Americans now have a chronic disease. This is stunning. When my uncle was president, it was 11%. 1950, it was 3%. Today, it's 76.4%. 8 out of 10 of our kids cannot qualify for military service. This is a national security issue. When my uncle was president, we spent $0 on chronic disease. Today, we spend $1.3 trillion. It's the biggest cause. It's increasing. And all of the arguments that Republicans and Democrats have about single-payer, Obamacare, or with the various ways to allocate the health dollars, they're all like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. If we don't end this chronic disease, we are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at CDC. They did not do their job. This was their job to keep us healthy.
Thank you,
and I need to fire some of those people to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.